Hey everybody, this is Aaliyah and Terry from 1140 Balance. And a lot of people ask us what 1140 stands for in 1140 Balance. And we think that is such a fun question, a great conversation starter because it does seem kind of weird, but it's actually pretty deep. And Terry and I have been working together for, I don't know, about 3 years now. Is it 3?
Yeah.
Terry's my personal trainer, and she's the one that introduced the concept to me. It comes from Deuteronomy, and I'll let you tell them, where that's birthed, where that came from.
Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 2 through 3, and really the story starts prior to that. But in one of our sessions, we were just talking about the struggles and identity, and I began sharing with her this story where God has brought the Israelites to Mount Sinai, and they are preparing to go into the Promised Land, to Kadesh Barnea, and that is about an 11-day journey. So 11 days, remember that. The Israelites get there, and they are mumbling and groaning, and they don't go into the Promised Land. So they turn around and they go back. And we know that they wander for 40 years. So an 11-day journey that ended up being a 40-year journey. And that's where 1140 Balance comes from, of what journey are you on? Are you going to take a path that is of least resistance, understanding who you are and accepting that, or do you want to wander for 40 years caught in the same circle of, I don't know why I do this, I don't know what this struggle is about? And so that's kind of came out during one of our sessions, and Aaliyah can share with you a little why I really kind of harped in on that principle.
Well, and one thing that I love about this whole story with the Israelites is that God actually brings them right outside the Promised Land pretty quickly after they leave slavery. And they get there and they send 12 spies in, and 10 of those 12 come out and say, no way, y'all, them folks too big, we can't handle this, And 2 of the spies are like, yes, we can, because we have God on our side. But because Israel doubted, God said, you know what, y'all aren't ready for this. And he turned around, like Terry said, and sent them back into the desert. And I know that for me, when I left slavery, my issue happens to be food and binge eating and all that stuff. I wandered. I didn't want the Promised Land initially because I didn't know who I was without this slavery, without food. And so I, like the Israelites, they grumbled and complained, and they even wanted to go back into slavery. Yeah. They asked to go back into slavery because they at least that was what they knew. And I found myself, sometimes I still find myself wanting to go back to the familiar land of slavery because it feels easier because it's familiar.
Yeah. And I think we do that a lot of not really wanting to move forward because we don't know the what. And God told them, I love you. I have purposed this for you. I have a plan for you. And the Israelites couldn't see that, and they couldn't accept that. They knew what the struggle was when they were in slavery. And as hard as that was, they were willing to go back to slavery because they didn't know, or they couldn't see what God had for them. And like Aaliyah said, do we do that in our day-to-day lives? So she said her struggle is food. What is your struggle? And that would be the place where we would start, addressing what is my slavery, if you will, and unpacking that and addressing it and understanding what I need to do to leave slavery and walk into freedom. And that's what 1140 Balance is all about, kind of helping you unpack.
Absolutely. And I would ask, kind of what your thing is probably. You probably already have something in your mind that you can't seem to overcome. Yeah. I would ask, if you let that go today, who are you? What would your day look like tomorrow if that thing was gone? Because I came to realize that I didn't know who I was without food, without being on a diet or binge eating or going to the drive-thru or whatever. I didn't know who I was without that. And I was afraid to let it go because I had formed a relationship around that thing and made it a part of who I was. And, that's exactly what the Israelites did. And that's what we so often do. We set up these things that are false.
Yeah.
We believe what other people say about us, what other people say we are, how other people define us. We believe those lies that the enemy whispers into our minds, and we even repeat them out of our own mouths and speak those things over ourselves, and therefore we live in that. We walk in that because we've just agreed and defined, yes, I am this. I'm a binge eater that struggles with this, and I can't overcome this. I can't lose weight. Well, guess what? You've just declared that over yourself, and so you can't. And that is how the Israelites were. And so they had to wander and wander and wander until God finally brought them back to the promised land the second time 40 years later.
Yeah. And in that process, God told them, okay, you're going to go in, but you need to destroy everything that's in their way. I don't want you to form any relationships, any unions with anything that's left there. And the other part of 1140 balance is the balance part, and that is knowing that you can't form union with those things that are struggling, holding you back. You need to call them out and be able to say it out loud, declare it, and release it, and then accept who you are and replace that with affirmation, whether that affirmation is other people, different types of food, different places, whatever it is. And that's what 1140 balance helps you do. This is your journey. This is your path, and we're helping you discover what that is. So there is no one size fit all, but we want to help you discover the best path for you.
Yep, and that's huge. There's no one size fits all. Your journey will not look like somebody else's. So the way somebody else eats, what somebody else's marriage looks like, how somebody else raises their kids, what somebody else's relationship with God looks like, how they talk to God, how He talks to them, none of that is going to look like you, because you are you. You're the only one, and God has a unique and a special plan and a path and the way He wants to walk alongside you. So you might be walking with a tribe full of Israelites, but you're still uniquely you. And so He has this unique purpose and path and plan for you. We're excited. I mean, I don't know if you guys are walking in 11 days or if you're still in the 40 years, but there's room for everybody here.
Yeah.
And we're still on our journey. Even when you get to the promised land, there is still a journey, as Terry said, of cleaning out and of the way that you live that out. So everybody's at a different place on their journey. So we're excited. We thank you so much for watching our video. We're going to have more videos, and we want to welcome you to the 1140 family. And comment below if you want. We'll put a link to our website in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. And we're here as a big family to help you in any way that we can on your journey.
Yep, we're all on this path together.
Yep.
Living happy,
Healthy, holy. See you later.